And how did you guys end up meeting Rick?
At an MC contest at the Cadet Center in the Bronx. Rick was in the contest, and Doug wanted to know who he was. So this guy named Charlie Rock, he was one of the people that ran in Harlem World, and he was one of the people that said he knew who Rick was and he knew how to get in contact with him, and he would make sure that they connect. Then he connected Doug and Rick, and they said they would meet. And then Doug brought Rick to my house. He brought him to my house, and he said, "Yo, you got to hear this rhyme that he got." And that's the first time we ever heard Ladi Dottie. Now, mind you, I still live with my mother. You know what I'm saying? I got a room. Room may hold about, you get 5 people in there. It's packed. It's like 15 people in here. You know, Rick came with a bunch of people. Doug came with people. I had people. It was like packed in here. And Rick is doing Ladi Dottie for the very first time
The
off of
very
this beat
first
that I
time.
made on this drum machine. And it was crazy. We was like, yo, we got to do something with that. You know what I'm saying? And then we started going out on the road, and Rick started going out with us, and we were doing shows and different places, different clubs, not for no real money or nothing, but it sharpened you. It sharpened us a lot because you could do what you need to do. And it's hard to work without people knowing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing, like it's imagining like, you see an opening act and you don't know none of their songs, but they kind of keeping you motivated because that's what we were saying. We got to keep people moving, even though they ain't gonna know nothing that we doing. So we just had to find things that were elements that people knew that we could use that would be a little more mainstream than coming from the neighborhood. Because you could easily play breakbeats in the neighborhood and people like you love rap, you could cut that and do it, but we had to kind of do something a little more because we started branching out and doing Jersey and we went to Maryland. We took Greyhound to Maryland. This is like, we was like, yeah, we go. This was far to us. Like we went far. Yeah, we were all the way in Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We might as well have been in LA, at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because we was in Baltimore. We went out there. And this is the days where, promoters be like, yo, it's not that crowded. I don't got your money.
Right, right, right.
This is
Yeah.
them days, you know what I'm saying? So we went all the way out to Baltimore and we went out there with no money to come home. And the promoter said, yo, I don't really got nothing, I don't got the money for y'all to do the show. Man, we had to figure out how we gonna get home, man. We was trying to figure everything out. Like he's like, yeah, we gotta get some money from somewhere because we out here now. And it was just like, we got 1,000 of these stories or whatever, trying to get on and trying to do stuff. But we were we were we were all performing. Then we met a friend of ours named LaVeba. He had a Camaro. 5 of us in this
In the
Camaro.
Camaro.
We
Yeah.
drove to Albany, 5 people in a Camaro.
So like 4 hours, 4 hours, I
Like
think.
3 hours,
Four,
three and some
yeah.
change. Yeah,
Yeah.
a Camaro though. You know what I'm saying? 5 people.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Yeah, that was insane. That was insanity,
I
man.
wouldn't even want to go from Long Island to the city in the
Right,
Camaro
right,
pack like that,
exactly.
bro.
I didn't even want to sit in the Camaro. Like if you're not going nowhere, just like sit in here and have a conversation. But
Yeah.
we ended up riding them 3 hours, did what we had to do, drove back. When Weber had been with us, he had got solid with us. He was like, "Yo, wherever y'all need to go, let me know." He was like, "Well, we need to find a bigger car or something because 5 of us riding around this Camaro is crazy."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
so
we did. We made it happen. You know,
were you guys performing, like you said, you guys heard Lottie Dottie for the first time. Were you
right?
performing that song before it became what the
We
world?
performed that song at least 50 times before it came out on record.
And it was over a beat that you had?
It was
Or
Doug.
was it?
Doug was doing the same way you hear it on the record
Yeah,
is the way we were doing it live. We just did the beat because we didn't know what he was doing.
at the
So that's the
first
only
time.
time he ever did it off of a beat. That was the very
Okay,
first time we
okay.
heard it was off of a beat of a drum machine.
Oh, wow.
After that, it just became Doug doing it.
Right,
From
right,
then
right,
on, it
right.
became the same way you hear it on the record. You know.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Damn, that's interesting, man. So people must have went crazy when they finally heard this coming out of, like, playing on a radio. And they're like, wait a minute.
Right, right.
We heard that before
Yeah,
somewhere.
and the people that didn't was getting the same reaction that we had when we heard it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 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 right,
And
right.
but when we did it live, it's a lot longer than it is on the record. There's a whole nother section to Lottie Dottie that we took off, because they thought it was going to be a little too much. They like, it went a little far.